So yeah, we'll go from there. So let's first talk about clear the board. So first talk about orb prio, and we'll talk about harmony first. So give me my pen. So harmony, harmony healing orb, whatever you want to call it, heal orb, green orb, whatever the hell you want to call it. Basically the way that I see it is you're gonna use it similar to like how old brick pack was, um, where like sure there's that overheal, but what it does is it just gives whoever you're giving it, it gives them a little bit of like an overheal, basically a little bit of extra health to push forward, and they can hold more space, they can hold more aggressive. It's also normal healing, right? That kind of thing. It's also no cooldown, so you can put it on anyone at any point. You can swap it up a bunch. You can be super flexible with it, and you can be way more liberal with it in comparison to like a brick pack, which you had to be conservative with because you have a limited amount and they come over cooldown. So Harmony, you can be extremely kind of not frugal, extremely liberal with how you use them. Um, and again, like when I talk about priority and I talk about prioritizing usage, it doesn't mean 100%. It doesn't mean always put on this person or that person. It means that's like our ideal. That's our priority, right? And the way I view it is whether you're in ball comp or whether you're in double shield, right? We're gonna be talking about Zen in context of those two comps because those are the most common for Zen, like in the ball brig Zen and in double shield like BAP Zen or like BAP or like Zen brig, Zen mercy. Those are just a little bit. Those show up every once in a while, but more BAP Zen, more brig Zen, Zen mercy, that kind of stuff, right? So we'll be talking in that kind of context. So basically your harmony priority is going to depend on the stage of the fight that you're in. Okay, so there's three stages to the fight that we're going to look at to kind of inform our reasoning, right? So number one is setup, right? Setup includes when you're pushing through space and you're trying to clear space, right? When someone is pushing through space to clear out threats for your backline to walk, right? There is the engage. That's when our ball, tracer, Echo, Sombra, Diva, anyone who's going in, anyone who's taking aggressive angles is going for that hit, starting that mid fight. There's that engage. And then there's the mid fight, right? When we actually get to the fight, we've taken our position, we go for an engage, and we start the actual fight, right? So these are kind of the three phases we'll look at. And the reason I've differentiated them is because this is how I want to be thinking about like what is going on and where the fight is flowing at these times, at these points, is going to be different, right? So where you put your orb can be more efficient or more effective in different places, if that makes sense, right? So these are kind of the differences that we will be using, right? So talk about setup, talk about early, like early fight before the fight happens, before anything's happening, as we're pushing through space on our neutral, as we're retaking space after we lost a fight, or as we are setting up after we have won a fight and we're like holding space, right? Like Harmony Orb is going to be used to help us set up, right? We're trying to use our orb to augment our ability to take advantage of the situation that we're in, whether it be set up, engage, mid fight, right? We're trying to push that advantage. So in the setup, we should be using our orb to help our setups, if that makes sense. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. In like ball comp, for example, our ball tracer are going to go push lanes and clear out space for our Zen brig to set up, and they're going to be pushing forward. Or it could be our Sombra, it could be our Echo. So at that point, we want to put our orb on a tracer or on a ball and help them go set up. Maybe a diva to help push space, or maybe even your brig when you're on rotation, right? If you're rotating, you need to live and engage. You can put it on your brig and live that, if that makes sense, right? That's when you're set up. In your setup, you're just trying to get yourself to a better position. Okay. So we're using our orb to help us set up, help us clear angles. Okay. Once we get to the engage, we're talking about like ball brig comp, like ball brig zen comp. When we get to the engage, we're gonna put our orb on whoever is engaging, right? No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know you don't. No, I know you don't get it. The engage, right? When it comes to the engage, when you're playing Zen, you're going to be trying to orb whoever is going for the engage, whoever is initiating, or whoever will need that extra resource, right? Or whoever we want to keep in there for a prolonged amount of time, right? So let's say we're going in for an engage and like it's ball comp. We have our ball go in, we can orb our ball going in, and as he goes in, he slams, he has his orb, so he gets a little bit of extra time. He gets a little bit more health out of his shields. Then you can orb your Sombra, who's like maybe 80% to EMP. You put orb there, and Sombra can stay longer, And really all you're trying to do is augment that fight and augment that engagement and help whoever's going to get focused down, right? If you're going for a pulse bomb and you're trying to relying on your tracer, you can put it on your tracer when she goes in, right? And we're kind of banking on that. Either way, there's not like a wrong option. I'd say that it's pretty safe to put it on your ball, but you can put it on a different DPS maybe depending on, the situation, right? And then we talk about mid fight. When it comes to the mid fight, um, I see I see like a few options that come out, or a few things when it comes to like what we're trying to do with our mid-fight orbs. And I'd say what we're looking to do is we're trying to help our team hold positioning, helping us stay in the brawl, helping us keep holding forward. So I see a lot of orbs on like divas or sigs, and a lot on brig, right? Because if you orb your brig can push way more aggressive and can live for way longer and can help us keep brawling. And if our brig is getting orb, then she can get more inspire up because she can swing more. We get more healing overall, and your orb is getting more value, right? It's not going to be on the Tracer or the Sombra as much because in that mid fight, they are way more self sufficient. Same with your Wrecking Ball, right? Your Wrecking Ball can go help on his own. You might want to orb him every once in a while, but Brig's going to be best bet. Diva's also kind of in that same category too because she's not super self sufficient, right? But if all three of you, Brig, Zen, Diva, are peeling for each other, you can keep each other alive for so long and live for so long and push whenever you need to, right? You can force that mid fight. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing. And if I look at first example will be Shu on Shu versus the Philly Fusion. This was in the playoffs. And so this fight I only want to focus on where he's putting Harmony Orb. Okay. All right, no. Wait, is it right here? Okay, it's here. Cool. So if you just look at Harmony Orb here, right? So setup. Right now, you can see who Harmony's on in bottom right. Right, he's got it on Muse. At this point, we're clearing space. We're just pushing through. We don't know what they're on. We put it on our Wrecking Ball, so our Wrecking Ball and Tracer and Sombra are all pushing through space together. Okay? So again, still on Wrecking Ball. We're just pushing space right now. We're just setting up. It doesn't really need to be on anyone else. It can be on our Tracer if Tracer's taking a fight. But right now, we're just trying to keep our ball ready because our ball is the main kind of focal point for our setup. Okay? That's what we're playing for at the moment. Ball's out of OS. One thing to keep in mind is that because it's no cooldown, there's really no cost to it. If you don't have orb on anyone, just put it on someone, right? If you don't have a best option, that's why I talked about priority rather than like necessity. Just put your orb on anyone, right? Ball left LOS, it's fine. Okay. At this point, they're going for like kind of a soft engage. Puts it on his tracer because his tracer's going for that engage. Also, it's much better used on that tracer. They're going for an engage rather than on the brig because brig's not walking yet, right? And again, still doesn't have harmony on anyone yet. Puts it on brig. And as they're about to start walking, keeps it on brig. He probably should swap it to ball now. He does. Ball goes for engage. Ball's got harmony. Goes in. Dies because it's echo brig. I don't know why he slams into that, but at this point resets harmony. Now they're kind of in this mid-fight section. Now he's putting on his brig to help his brig stay alive, right? Brig backs up to a bad spot. But as brig leaves LOS, he sees that I believe his tracer is low, or he sees that his tracer's going hard. Puts harmony there. Backs up a little bit. Helps his brig in that mid-fight again, trying to keep that brig alive. As long as this backline keeps each other alive, they'll be able to get value, right? So that's kind of what I wanted to focus on when it comes to harmony. Okay. There's going to be a little bit more, I believe, here. We can look at the same thing when it comes to harmony placement. All right, so here, mid-fight again. So mid-fight here, we're putting on brig, walking with the brig, Trank to live. Oh no, it's right here. I think is where I wanted to start. All right, we're in this mid-fight. Harmony's on brig just to keep her alive. If our brig can stay forward, then we put it on Sombra because Sombra's forward, pushing space. Swap it to the Tracer, keep Tracer alive. Tracer can repush now. Keeping it on Tracer. Ball's about to go for an engage. Harmony ball. At this point, we probably swap to Sombra. Sombra gets forced out. Now we're still in mid-fight. We're pushing. We put on our Diva, keep our Diva in the fight, so our Diva doesn't have to leave and get orb. Get health back. Keeping it on Diva. It's free farm. All right, mid-fight again. Putting on Brig. You can't really save the ball. At that point, there's a lot of times where if a ball gets blown up or someone gets blown up, you can't really do anything about that. You don't have burst heal. It's not really something to worry about. That's more on your Wrecking Ball not going on a good engage. Okay, so Just that kind of thought process. You can swap around your harmony a lot. I don't think there's a ton of perfectly right or wrong answers. It's just swapping around with communication, like who wants to push, who doesn't want to, those kind of things. Okay. And then next, talk about Discord real quick. So Discord, Disc. So the way I want to think about Discord is Discord kind of has three main uses, right? Some more important than others, but you know, either way, there's three kind of, I guess, ways in which you can get more value out of it. Okay. So you can use it as a threat, right? When someone's discorded, obviously they take more damage if they don't know that. I think they need to try a new game, right? It's a threat. If someone is discorded, they probably have to give up more space than they would like to because there's the threat of being blown up, right? There is also just for focus, right? Target focus. You discord someone, and so that you can blow them up. They take more damage. Easy. It helps team focus. But also there's scouting, right? If you get an orb on a tracer that is going for a setup, or that is going on your backline or is looking to set up, putting discord on them is one, a threat, and two, it helps you scout and you can see through walls where they're going. So these are kind of like the three main uses you'll see for discord that you'll see a lot of use out of from like a lot of really good Zens, right? So you can use it to threaten people. A lot of times it's used to threaten a Brig, right? Because Brig wants to hold space aggressively, but if Brig has Discord on her, it makes her way easier to blow up. And Brig is a priority target in a lot of ball Brig Zen matchups. So you'll see a lot of threatening like Discords on Brig early fight, like in this kind of pre-fight phase, to prevent her from walking, right? To threaten that. And then in mid fights, you'll see a lot of like focus oriented Discord orbs, right? You put it on like a diva who's feeding, you put it on someone who's out of position, you put it on an echo who's forward, right? You put it on someone you want to focus down, right? That's going to be more in your mid fight. So like in this early fight, you're going to be looking to put orb on like a ball, put orb on a diva, on like a brig if you can, to like threaten them, to force them to respect that and to give some space. If they don't respect it, it's a kill, right? Your team can collapse on that, if that makes sense. You just say who your orb's on, and that threatens them. And if they feed and they go past like where they're safe, then we can go in on that engage, right? But it keeps them from getting too aggressive. Okay. You can use it mid fight. In mid fight, you'll see a lot more focus orbs, right? You'll see a lot more orbs, like Discord's focusing to like focus targets down, right? Focus someone who's feeding, focus someone in backline is feeding, but focusing tanks is probably your best option, right? Pretty consistent target, big target. And also the backline peels for each other a lot. So focusing down a diva that doesn't have a lot of heal resources is super easy. So you can use it to focus. And then you'll see scouting orbs kind of intermittently. It's not really a I don't think it's really the thought process like, oh, I'm going to use an orb to scout. It's more of like that's like a secondary effect. But what I'd say is that scouting orbs are way more useful in early fights and when you're setting up and when you're like rotating as a Zen, right? So when you're rotating and setting up, that's when you are most in danger. That's when people are going to look to engage on you. That's when a Tracer, when a Sombra, when Ball are going to look to engage on you. So putting Orb on a Tracer when you're repositioning is a really good way to keep track of her and to make sure that she's not going to int onto you, right? Or if she does, you can win that 1v1, right? It puts you in a better position to win that, right? So, um, yeah, but like mid fight, you do have a lot of options. You can threaten a Brig from walking forward. You can focus down a target. You can put an Orb on a Zen who's engaging on you. It's just you have to be aware of what's going on around you, right? If the tracer's not close to you, and or if like let's say you have a brig nearby and you don't really need to worry about a tracer, you don't really need to worry about a scouting orb, right? If you're near your backline, if you're near your brig, you're near your diva, you don't have to worry about the tracer because someone else is watching for you, right? Or they should if you're communicating that, right? So in that mid fight, you can keep Discord orb on whoever you're shooting, whoever the team is shooting, to you know, get the most out of that value. So you're not wasting it just throwing on a tracer who's in your backline, right? So yeah, that's that. And then I'm gonna look at a specific fight from one more from Shu actually, which is 225, and this time just looking at Discord positioning rather than just Harmony, right? So at this point we're backing up. They use Rally, we're gonna use Rally second, right, to repush. Right, so here at this point we're backing up. We're just giving space. Discord is on Shockwave because we have Sombra Tracer Ball. We can punish that if we need to. So we just put it on that target. But right now we're backing up. We're rotating. We're trying to live. So he puts Discord on Tracer because one could get that kill if he hits the shots. doesn't in that situation. But now he knows where their tracer is, and he knows that he can mark her out and she can't go on him. So he can reposition pretty safely. He's aware of where she is, and now that Discord's gone, they know he has information. Now he puts Discord on Funny Astro, prevents him from walking, right? Putting Discord on that brig. He hits the brig for one shot, forces her back. She's Discorded. She has to respect it. She backs up. He backs up. Discord's still on at this point. Puts Discord on the Echo. Echo is low, punishable, right? Looking for an opportunity. Same thing. And then we get to this mid fight. Just puts an orb on D.Va to focus down targets, right? Same thing with the Wrecking Ball here, right? Puts orb on ball so his team can focus it down, right? Pretty good Discord priority there. And that's just in this mirror matchup. The Discord priority is going to change a little bit in different matchups, right? So I'll look at a far away clip right here, actually. Let me make sure this is the right time. Okay, so we'll look at a different matchup. So in this Ball Brig ZEN comp versus Double Shield, or versus Brawl, right? It's going to be the same though, or it's going to be pretty similar when you're playing Double Shield versus Brawl, right? When it comes to your Discord, and this is going to be more of a clip that combines both Harmony and Discord, actually. So versus Brawl, our goal is to hit on rotation, prevent tanks from holding space forward so we can get picks off that rotation, getting picks off of angles, right? We keep our distance as a backline so that the our DPS and our ball can disrupt rotations and get value off of that, right? So we look at Orbs here. Early fight, we know we're trying to prevent their backline, their team from walking on us, right? So Discord goes on Gator. If they put Discord on their Ryan can't walk. We put Harmony on our D.Va because our D.Va's holding space, and our ball, Sombra, and Tracer aren't going to engage in here because it's closed room. It's a really hard engage for them, so we don't need to orb them at all. They just live. We wait for the rotation. We keep spamming and living. Just keep holding space with our D.Va, right? Really good Discord, really good Harmony so far. I keep spamming, right? Here we go. We Harmony Jinmu to keep him alive and keep him in. Here's a really good Discord orb, actually. Discord on the Tracer. We see that the Tracer is going to set up on backline. This is really, really good because we see Tracer's looking to go set up on backline. We see her going on left. So we Discord, so we get timing. We can mark her out. We can watch her. We go and mirror it. Ends up being a really good play from Kai who sticks it, but we're aware, and we're able to force that out, and we're able to make sure that Kai can't stay forever. We force him out early, and we put Orb on our Tracer to help with that duel, chase out the other Tracer. Ends up peeking back around, has that scouting from that Orb, kills Tracer, and at this point, puts Orb on our Tracer, and then we trank to push. Also, important note, whenever you trank, make sure Discord's going on at least someone when you go out, so your team can focus that while you're in trank. Try and get Orb out on someone, repositions around, right? Discord mid-fight. I just think that fight was probably the best example of how Orb should be used, right? Understanding the macro of what's going on. We're set up. Ball, Tracer, Sombra aren't going for engages. They don't need to set up. They're already set up, so we don't need to orb them. Put it on our D.Va just to hold space and prevent their backline from walking on us, right? We go for an engage, put it on our Tracer, right? We put a Discord on their Tracer to mark out that push on our backline. Ends up losing Brig, but either way, I think that placement was probably some of the best you'll see.